Hello everyone, and welcome to my Emmerdale news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. More back and forth between Will and Kim, who really ought to quit their insults, was shown on Emmerdale tonight. In the meantime, Tom was attempting to win over a scared Carl, and Laurel was making disparaging remarks about Nicola. The story of Kim and Will's divorce continued, almost as long as the blackmail plot lasted. Hangover, Will was displeased to see Peter still in his dressing robe after spending the night with Kim. There were more insults, spitting, and sparring. Later on, Peter was sporting Will's shirt, and once more, Will and Kim exchanged insults. Will then gave Peter a punch. Will, however, swore he wasn't envious. He was again requested to leave Kim's house, but he refused. Later, Kim admitted in Lydia that she doesn't feel as fantastic as she had hoped when she plays tricks on Will. The obvious was stated by Lydia: they still have feelings for one another. Kim should stop being so stubborn, she said, but would Kim listen? Carrie discovered Will drowning his sorrows at the Woolpack when he was necking the dog's hair. He told her everything, including the blackmail and dishonesty, as well as what had happened with the cemetery, and she offered to listen. In response, Carrie told him that was the most amazing thing she had ever heard. Still, Will acknowledged his affection for Kim. It appeared that this would finally come to an end with Kim at home getting all dolled up and dumped Peter, but sadly, Will arrived with Carrie, inebriated as skunks. When they got to the bedroom, everything fell apart once more. Arthur visited Nicola and disclosed his problems to her. He even admitted that he has no experience at all, has never been in a relationship, and is envious of all the other 17-year-olds who are participating in Love Island. Nicola suggested that he discuss his feelings with Laurel. After that, Nicola and Arthur went to talk to Laurel together. It's clear that Laurel wasn't happy to hear Nicola's suggestions on how to handle her kid. Because Angelica is in jail, she insulted Nicola harshly and said that Nicola was a horrible parent. The pals continued to attack one another, and it felt like we were back at home farm with Kim and Will. Laurel did soften toward her son once they reconciled, but can she still help him? For 3 weeks, Evan will be returning home, but Billy was anxious. When he learned that the automobile had failed its MOT and that fixing it would cost more money than it was worth, things became worse. Billy vented his resentment on a punching bag when Mac, who was suspicious, showed up to ask him what he was thinking. Billy provided coverage, but it's obvious that Mac wasn't persuaded. Will he discover the truth? It was obvious that Carl was afraid of Tom, and nobody cared to hear what he had to say. Nicola sent him off to match socks instead. Later, Tom apologized to Carl after Carl acknowledged that he had scared him. He even purchased Carl a gigantic toy car as a present and threatened to reveal the tablet's location if Carl didn't say anything. That means that this will take considerably longer to resolve. Hopefully Carl will soon grow tired of the automobile and divulge everything. In Emmerdale, Will Taylor, Dean Andrews, has taken revenge on his wife Kim Tate, Claire King, and she isn't happy about it. Since Kim's identity as his blackmailer was made public last month, things haven't been right between the two. After learning that Will had slept with his ex-wife Rose, Christine Tremarco, she had concocted a cunning revenge scheme, which involved her shoving him into an open grave the following night. He's been living at home farm ever since, getting under her nose. Sick of the mess they were creating, she told him she was spending the evening with her financial advisor Peter after observing him day drinking with Jimmy King, Nick Miles. When Will discovered later that Kim had deliberately twisted him into a knot so that Peter could wear his shirt after their sleep together, he became enraged. Will gave Peter a punch out of sheer anger. Karen Blick's character Lydia Dingle attempted to resolve the conflict by warning her friend Kim that they would live in misery forever if they carried on with their animosity. Following their chat, Kim took the initiative to break things off with Peter. but Will was getting really wasted at the Woolly with Carrie Wyatt, Laura Norton. In tonight's episode, Lydia was doing some cleaning in the kitchen at Home Farm when Carrie, who had spent the night, walked downstairs and down the hallway looking hungover. Kim rolled her eyes, clearly annoyed by her husband's plot of retaliation. Later, when the two women went to eat at the Hyde, they saw Carrie sitting there too, observing. Kim had obviously been offended by the encounter because she had informed Lydia that she was tired of being treated disrespectfully and had gone on to be blatantly nasty to Amy Barton, Natalie and Jameson. In this Emmerdale spoiler video for next week, it is revealed that Kim Tate, Claire King, is left nursing her wounds as her estranged husband Will Taylor, Dean Andrews, tries to make her jealous. Since the Home Farm matriarch revealed herself as Will's covert blackmailer last month, the ex-couple have been at differences. After learning that he had been unfaithful to her with his ex-wife Rose Jackson, Christine Tremarco, she had spent weeks acting out her marriage. The two then made a serious commitment to defeating one another, drawing battle lines between them. As of next week, they are both trying to enrage one another. From their heart-to-heart, it appears that Kim is reconsidering her decision to dissolve her marriage with Lydia Dingle, Karen Blick. Lydia wonders if they may still be in love as Kim, having gone on a date with a handsome financial advisor named Peter, acknowledges that it didn't feel as well as she thought and upsetting Will. However, sparks quickly ignite when Carrie Wyatt, Laura Norton, sees Will nursing his wounds after witnessing Kim and Peter together. Things quickly get better, as our spoiler video shows, when Will brings her back to Home Farm and she meets a grumpy Kim the next morning. Kim is reeling from Will's attempt to get under her skin as Lydia looks on, but she isn't in the mood to talk about what this means for their future. Will Kim go into combat mode over Carrie and Will's liaison, or will they both come clean about their feelings at last? Two individuals are plotting to bring Kim Tate down as payback for her previous transgressions, so she may be in for a surprise. Kim's marriage to Will Taylor on ITV's Emmerdale recently broke down after he discovered she had blackmailed him as payback for his extramarital affair with Rose Jackson. But when the businesswoman, played by Claire King, hears of her buddy Zach Dingle's passing, she's about to take another hit. Following the actor Steve Halliwell's death, the beloved character will be honored on screen in the Yorkshire-based soap opera, according to the Mirror. Will, Dean Andrews, takes advantage of Kim's initial grief over Zach to align himself with Caleb Milligan, Will Ash. In later moments, as word spreads around the hamlet of Zach's passing, Will consoles Kim. As this is going on, Caleb is starting to feel the pressure from the bank, and he and Will soon be supporting one another in their plan to unseat Kim at Home Farm. Later, after Gabby Thomas, Rosie Bentham, moved out to live with newly single Laurel Thomas, Kim invites her back to Home Farm as Caleb struggles to maintain his optimism in the wake of his financial deception. Will she accept? In another scene, Will is inspired by Kim's suggestion to talk to Caleb about their strategy for overthrowing Kim as soon as possible. What will they determine? Since learning he is Frank Tate's illegitimate son, Caleb has been involved in a complicated battle with Kim Tate and has vowed to inherit the Tate family riches. He included Nicky, his own son, in his plot. Since Kim had welcomed Gabby into Home Farm after the birth of little Thomas Tate, Nicky, who identifies as gay, had no choice but to court and eventually propose to Gabby Thomas in the hopes that this would grant Caleb access to the Tate empire. But Nicky was unable to carry on the lie, especially with his boyfriend ally in the town, so he confessed to Gabby, revealing Caleb's scheme to obtain Kim's money. This resulted in a confrontation at Home Farm, where Kane Dingle, Jeff Hordley, intervened after Kim learned the truth and engaged Caleb in combat. The conversation came to a conclusion when the Emmerdale hard man fully disowned Caleb. Kane and Caleb have subsequently reconciled, despite some hurdles with Caleb's wife Ruby, Beth Cordingley. But might Caleb's most recent effort to undermine Kim lead to an irreversible rift? In the midst of rumors that he would betray Will, is Caleb being honest with him? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.